Hello, I'm here with Lysa Black, who is an amazing member of my Singularity Circle, and she has had her second book released, and I wanted to talk briefly today with her on this next vision she has, the work that she's doing, and how she's transforming the lives of hundreds of people, really, through her webinars, through her books, through her online platform. And I also have copies of both of her books. I've also worked together with her. She's also worked together with me. So we know how amazing we both are. So I just wanted to share with all of you guys in the Singularity Storytelling series, this amazing Singularity storyteller that's using technology from the inside to manifesting on the outside to manifesting online, and how she's brought everything into alignment. So thank you, Lysa, for joining me today.
Oh, such a joy to have time with you, beautiful.
Thank you. So tell me a little bit about the inspiration for this book that just came out now.
Yes, this book, Divine Purpose, was released on the 25th of May, and what's so interesting is that often when we begin our storytelling, we don't really know where it's going to take us. And this book actually began at the finish of my last book. So my first book was called Heart Healing, the 13 Principles of Emotional Self-Healing. And what happened was I took the really raw, vulnerable stories from my own life, how I was intuitively led to self-heal my own anxiety, my own binge eating, my own pattern of breakups. And, 8 years after all of that epic healing within, I manifested true love. I found my calling. I created a business that allowed me to prosper on purpose. And I just felt that stirring within, the one that's deeply inspiring and the one that's absolutely horrific and terrifying, that I had to share that. So I released that book. And for the first time in my career, I was actually booked out. I attracted really ideal clients who loved my work, really loved me. For us as storytellers, the more honestly we can convey the truth of who we are, the more clearly we can attract the people that really need our medicine in the world. And that's what that first book did. What happened after my clients read that book and did their work with me was that they manifested these beautiful healing manifestations that went far beyond what I had experienced. And so this book is actually a collection of real life stories. There's 13 chapters, and every chapter relays a certain woman's story of her own healing journey through her own loss and grief, and how she actually healed to reclaim her truth and ascend and create something beautiful that she'd never had before in her life.
Beautiful. And I'm just finishing up your first book, and I'm digesting and diving into the newest book that you have. And I love how you collected all these different stories from different people. And right before the interview, we were talking about how embracing the muck is so important for us to ascend as leaders, as our highest potential of self-expression, because everybody knows that's what I teach is radical conscious self-expression inside, outside, and online. So for those of you that are new to Lysa's work, and anybody new that's listening in, Lysa, what book do you recommend, or how do you best recommend starting this work on embracing the muck, on doing the chakra work, on doing emotional healing? Where does one begin?
Well, what I've really noticed when people find me for the first time is that most people really love my first book first. The Heart Healing book is where I talk about miscarrying my first son, where I talk about the challenging relationship I had with my own mother and feeling deeply unloved, my own parents' separation. And so I think the principle shared in that book is self-healing, and every leader that's on their path to ascend really needs to be able to comprehend their own muck, their own inner workings, and how they can actually go through a process of reclaiming their truth. A lot of people tend to start with heart healing and then progress on to divine purpose. Divine Purpose is called the 13 Principles of Ascension, and that's really where it's deepening in. And it's actually conveying the reality that everyone started in muck. You know, I have literally stood by hundreds and hundreds of women over the last 8 years of my career. And what was staggering for me was that everyone was birthed in mud. And whether they entered that stage of mud and loss and grief in their own life at kind of 8 or 9 or 17 or 25 or 35, there is not a soul on the planet that doesn't go through this process. And in my recent book, Divine Purpose, I'm actually using an ancient story from the goddess Ishtar, the goddess of fertility, where she actually descends through 7 gates representing our 7 chakras and gives away her truth out of her pain and loss, and then actually goes through a process of reclaiming her truth. And I guess my heart just really wants people to be able to hear that you don't rise without the mud. So let's take a moment to really bless and honor and thank the pain and suffering of our past. I can't not get emotional when I talk about this stuff, because it's so, you know, as a highly sensitive person and as a highly sensitive empath, I embrace my feelings, and I feel so deeply about this because every woman I've stood by, they've really felt like they were the only ones that suffered. And this is really the work of our ego. It isolates us, and it makes us believe that our pain is the only pain and that our suffering is the worst suffering. And so what I love about the 13 stories in this book is you will hear how these women have suffered, and these women have shared things with me that no one in their lives knows. Intimate, private stories that are real. And I want people to be able to understand that in this world, everyone is suffering deeply, and that suffering is intended for us to rise in our power and our purpose and our light as leaders and healers.
Oh, yes. Yes. And I love that you bring this up. And I tell all my clients or potential clients that reach out to me, because I don't do that. And so I send them to you, and then all, you know, as a resource, like read this book, go to her website, check out, you know, this video on her YouTube channel, because the work I do with people is they've gone through it, and now they are consciously choosing the story of their life that they want to create.
Yes.
So as a beautiful collaboration, because this is what always ends up happening, is before becoming a singularity storyteller, one must go and, like Lysa said, embrace the mud, embrace the shadow, that is part of ourselves, and that's what makes us strong. That's what made us us. And it's not bad, it's not ugly, it's not something to be ashamed of. It's a strength. And working with Lysa and seeing her work and the impact she has on others, even her YouTube channel, her book, has even revolutionized my thinking, and also being a little bit more gentle with my clients as well, with the emotional, the territory that we step into with conscious creation. So Lysa, if somebody wants to find out more, or they're interested in doing this deep work, like they are feeling, okay, I am ready, I'm going to go there, because I know that if I don't, it's holding me back. Where can they connect with you?
Yeah, I'd love, if anyone's interested in that, to check out my website, lysablack.com, Lysa black.com. And what's great is that I always love to have a half-hour conversation with people. A lot of people that reach out to me have read one of my books. They've seen my YouTube channel. So check me out on YouTube and just get a little bit of a feel for this work, because a lot of my clients will do some of their work based on some of the teachings that I'm sharing on my YouTube channel. On Facebook, you can find my page. the Empress, Lysa Black, and on Instagram it's the same. So what I really love is that people that are drawn to work with me are highly sensitive. I'm an empath, and I draw people in that are really similar to me. My belief is that as highly sensitive empaths, we're actually the healers of the world. And so it's our calling and our purpose to actually heal our own hearts and heal ourselves so that we can rise in our purpose, and that our mere presence can touch and ripple through everyone that we have contact with, obviously in person, and more importantly, online as a singularity storyteller. So I would love to play. And I think what's so beautiful, Isabel, is in this collaboration for us, this book would not have been birthed without my work with you, because you really supported me to own the storyteller within me. And this book, Divine Purpose, is literally, my first book was me telling my own story, and now I'm telling the story of others, and I love it so much. And I never would have thought that everyone would have given me permission to tell their stories. And the major comment when I went to people that I'd worked with and said, could I please write your story on your behalf and change your name and share it with the world? And they said, I would be honored. And they're honored because they know that their suffering and their ascension from that suffering is exactly what other people need to hear in order to give themselves permission to stop complaining about the mud and use it to rise.
Yes. Oh, so good. And I'm so honored that I was able to co-create that with you, because you always had that in you. I just uncovered it a little bit more.
You did. You've given me full permission. And I think, that's what's so powerful about working with you, is that you can really convey the truth that we already have everything that we need. I probably would have rebranded about 14 times before doing what I'm now doing. You gave me permission to go, as you are now, doing what you're doing is already phenomenal. And as you gave me permission to believe that, that's been self-evidential, and really ideal clients seeking me out, having profound shifts, rising in their power and influence in their businesses and their lives. And I just go, this is where really trusting our hearts to draw towards the people that have the gifts and the power and the expertise to help us on our purpose and on our missions. This is exactly what we're all doing on the planet right now, is really seeking out those that will fan our flames and support us to rise.
Yes. Oh, so good. Always so good talking to you. And for those of you that are interested, I highly recommend Lysa's books. I'm not biased at all, of course. But they are powerful books. They are great. They are vulnerable. They are real, which is something that we as humans currently in this century, in this time, are craving, is that real soul connection, whether it may be internally on your own, in community, in real life, or online. And Lysa has covered all of those in online space, in real events, and also in her book. So reach out to lysablack.com. It's Lysa black.com. She has an amazing online community and plenty of resources to share. Thank you again, Lysa, for your time today, and I look forward to all of your upcoming projects and more transformations.
Woo! Thank you, darling. How fun. So happy we had this time to dive in and do this together, sweetheart.
Thank you.